What we'll do basically is I'll introduce you. I have a proper introduction here. I'm going to ask you about the, signing up for Toronto with the beautiful contract and what that's been like. Then I want to, we have a little thing called wrist shots where I just ask you kind of getting to know you questions. Like the first one's,
Okay.
what was the first rink you skated on? That kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then I want to go back and talk a little bit about your college and your earlier hockey.
Okay. Awesome.
And I'll try to take it easy on you.
Okay. Okay.
So let me do the intro and then we'll get into it. So when I finish the intro, just tell me how glad you are to be here and stuff like that. Okay. And then
Okay.
we'll go. Today's guest recently signed a contract with the Toronto Six of the Premier Hockey Federation that will make her the highest paid player in the history of women's professional hockey. She is the second leading scorer in women's NCAA hockey history, tallying 136 goals, 161 assists for a total of 297 points over 5 seasons. In 2019, as a freshman at Boston College, she won the Patty Kazmaier Award as the best player in the country. And in 2021, she scored the NCAA championship winning goal in overtime for the Wisconsin Badgers. Please welcome this 5'6" center out of Toronto, Ontario, from the 99 birth year, number 4, Daryl Watts.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here talking to you.
Yeah, we're really psyched too. I guess I got to start off with a couple of preliminaries here. First of all, you're wearing number 4 with Toronto.
Yeah.
Where I think you're probably best known having 19 on your back.
Right.
So how did that go?
So, yeah, I've been asked a lot about why I'm number 4 because I guess it's like a really random number, but I was 9 at Boston College, which I loved that number. And then once I transferred to Wisconsin, 9 was taken. So then I became 19. Just because, I thought it was kind of close to 9.
Yeah.
So both 9 and 19 were taken at the Toronto Six. So now I was just I kind of cut my list down to 4, 15, and 91. And
Uh-huh.
then number 4, I've always thought it was like a cute little number. So I just went with it. I was like, and I like single digits. I think single digit numbers look good. So I just went with number 4. My mom didn't like it, but
That's an old school number, those low
yeah, it
numbers.
is. It is.
So I looked it
Yeah.
up. Brooke Boquist, who's a 5'4"
Yes.
forward out of Thunder Bay, Ontario from the 96 birth year. She has 19. Did you offer her a case of Labatt's or High Noons or anything like that for the number?
No, I didn't. It's
Okay.
not. Yeah, I honestly don't care too much, to do that. But if I was to offer something to someone, it would be Katie Tabin because she's number 9, I believe. So we'll
Okay.
see.
We can work on that for next year, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing I wanted to point out is that we've had some really distinguished hockey players on this podcast. You have scored more points in college than any of them. And today you are taking the mantle from Digit Murphy. Are you familiar with Digit Murphy?
I am. I know that she is the president, I believe, of the Riveters. I think
That's
that's
exactly
correct.
right.
But I'm not
And
too familiar with her college career.
well, not long ago, she was the president and coach of the Toronto Six.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then she made the move over to the Riveters. And she played at Cornell between 1979 and 1983.
Wow.
And she
Okay.
put up 213 points.
Wow.
We've had her on the podcast. And she's also a legendary coach. She coached Brown for about 20 years. I think at one point she was the all-time leading wins leader for wins in
Oh,
women's hockey.
wow. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, you should check her.
awesome.
So she's OG. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
haven't had we've only had NCAA women's hockey for about 21 years, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So back then, they were still playing and everything like that, but it was quite different. But
Wow.
she laid the groundwork, much like you're
Right.
laying the groundwork for the kids with your very nice contract. So just want to point out that. And then just for the record, the all-time leader in scoring in college is Megan Acosta from the 87 birth year, Mercyhurst, 302 points.
Yeah.
She must have been sick. I hadn't seen her play. Nonetheless, so you're making the rounds, and the obvious thing to ask you about is your contract, which is quite possibly, nobody says definitively, but it seems like it's the most lucrative annual pay rate for any professional women's hockey player. How did that come together especially in consideration of the fact that it seemed like you had quote unquote
Mhm.
retired after you finished your college eligibility.
Yeah, so my last year has actually been kind of crazy just because when I graduated from Wisconsin last spring, I was admitted into and planning on attending a master's in commercial real estate program at Wisconsin for this fall and spring semesters.
Uh-huh.
So then all summer I worked a summer internship at a commercial real estate firm downtown. And then basically 7 days before I was supposed to go to that program, I said to my parents, after working the summer internship, I don't think I'm ready to commit to, a career in commercial real estate. I want to like figure out what I want to do with my life. Just, the classic 23-year-old not knowing, being indecisive, blah, blah, blah. So really the turning point was when I saw the salary cap doubling for the next season for the PHF,
Mhm.
1.5 US million, which was, just an incredible number for a women's sports. So once I saw that, the conversation was with my family, okay, playing professional women's hockey is now a really lucrative, um, I guess, career choice to make money as like a young person.
Right.
Um, so then using my dad as my agent, which, was really funny and entertaining, but he was great. We kind of talked to a few teams, and being born and raised in Toronto, my heart was always with the Toronto Six, and we reached a really nice deal. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of a dream scenario to play for my hometown team and be compensated really nicely.
Yeah. Because you realize that, and maybe some people out in the audience don't realize this, that as recently as um 2 years ago, the salary cap was 150,000
Yeah,
per team.
right.
It was a
Yeah.
little higher before, but this the women's professional hockey in North America has been on quite a ride. So
Mm-hmm.
personally, I'm hoping that this infusion of investment from people who believe in women's hockey is going to help to sustain it, so that people like you can make a living.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. And kind of when I was negotiating with teams and just doing research about the PHF, I believe, and I could be wrong, but just comparing the PHF to the WNBA, the National Women's Soccer League, obviously they've got more teams in their leagues, but the PHF salary cap per team is higher than the WNBA and the NWSL. So that's incredible, especially
Yeah.
because the NBA, or sorry, the WNBA is backed by the NBA. So that just kind of, speaks to the investors, like you mentioned, the leadership group. It's what they're doing is really incredible.
Yeah. And some of the things that we've heard, like when we had Fratty, who we just mentioned on here, and we had a couple other players, Christina Poutini was on here, and they all talk about the same thing, which is that there were players making 10,000 a year, 15,000 a
Mm-hmm.
year, and having to have full-time jobs and schlepping over to practice at night, sometimes driving hours and stuff like that. And
Right.
I think they're really just hoping that we get to this point where at least we have a couple of players who make good livings, and there'll be more and more players along the way that can get into that same position.
Yeah,
Now,
no, and sorry, go on.
no, you go on.
I was just gonna say, you know, yeah, like 3 years ago, I have a really great friend who played in this league. I think this will be her fourth year, but she went from making, I don't know, like $1,000 a month to, now she quit her other job and she's just playing hockey. And, I think next year with the salary cap, hopefully that'll be the scenario for everyone.
Yeah. Now, are other opportunities coming your way in terms of endorsements or appearances or anything like that that are going to help you, or are you just kind of sticking with hockey for now?
Well, I think that's the plan to eventually start looking for endorsements and, just trying to capitalize on my career in hockey as much as I can. Um, as of right now, I haven't really done anything yet. Um, but it's been a crazy past 3 weeks. Like I've just been so focused on getting back in hockey shape, becoming friends with my teammates, all that stuff. But that's
Yeah.
definitely down the road. So I'm looking forward to that. That could be a lot of fun.
Okay. And you mentioned talking to a few different teams, did you give
Mhm.
consideration to the PWHPA or going somehow to Europe? Did that come into play?
No, it didn't. I've got some great friends in both those leagues you just mentioned, but like I mentioned before, the salary cap in the PHF is unmatched in any other women's hockey league. So, to be a pro athlete, you want to be compensated, and that's really why I chose the PHF, because not only salary cap, but I believe in it, and the future is really bright for this league. So I just want to do as much as I can to help promote it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been covering this stuff for just about 3 years, not forever, but
Okay.
you know, the odd thing that makes it hard for fans is that you have the PHF, which is a league with a
Hmm.
schedule and a trophy and all this
Right.
kind of stuff. And then you have the PWHPA, which has all the Olympians, but it's basically like a barnstorming tour. It's
Yeah.
cool and stuff, but it's not like a real league.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a real league. Um, but it's just, the women's hockey kind of atmosphere within the past like 4 years, it's just been confusing. As an outsider, you look in and there's two pro leagues and you're like, which league is better? What's going on here? So I hope one day, there will be one pro league, just one singular league, and
Yeah.
that's obviously what's in the best interest of women's hockey. And I believe in the PHF, and I hope this league will emerge as the women's national hockey league, in a few years or next year, 2 years.
Me too.
Yeah, I think everyone does, and I think PWHPA players would agree that they just want one league. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
mhm.
we've heard about it that they were frustrated, with some of the
Right.
things that went on with the CWH. We don't have to go into that whole story, but great. So let's keep moving because I don't want
Okay.
to keep you here all day. You're being generous to join us, but let me move on to wrist shots. I'm going to
Okay.
ask you a series of rapid fire questions. Answer any way you want. Are you ready?
I am ready.
First rink you skated on.
Okay. Um, I don't know the name of it. It's in like my neighborhood. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but it's like a 10-minute drive from my house and the kind of the neighborhood that I've lived in my whole life.
In Toronto.
Yes.
Favorite hockey movie?
Miracle. Easy.
Your hockey nickname?
Oh gosh. Donna, my middle name, I guess. Yeah.
Can we call you Donna or should we just call you Ms. Watts?
You can call me Ms. Watts.
Okay. Biggest shithole arena.
Oh God. Oh my gosh, that list is so long. Um, you know, okay, I'm gonna go into the NCAA and I am gonna say Ohio State.
Okay.
Their arena sucks for women's. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
they not play in the same place as the men?
No, they don't. The men have a beautiful big like NHL arena and the women play in this. I don't know, maybe it's like 100 years old and their team has to walk outside to get to the rink. Yeah, not
Oh, so
ideal.
you saw that when you were at Wisconsin. You had to go over and
Yes,
see them.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
played them a lot, so
Fantastic. I'm just glad you didn't say Liner Rink at Cornell. I don't know
yeah,
if you've
I've
ever been
never
there.
no, I've been there to visit the school, but I've never played there actually. So yeah, like BC or Wisconsin, we never played Cornell, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy, but yeah.
Yeah. Best player you've ever been teammates with.
Oh my gosh, that's an impossible question. Okay. I have to shout out Katrin Lonergan. Played with her my freshman year, and we were magical together. I think our chemistry was incredible. We put up so many points. We just had like, how do you say it? Telepathic communications
Uh-huh.
on the ice. So Katrin, defensive wise, I played with Megan Keller at BC. She was incredible. But at Wisconsin, I played with so many great players. Sophie Shirley. Oh my God, like the younger kids like Casey O'Brien, she was an unreal. Lacey Eden is unbelievable. She's got an incredible shot. Tammy Cronish,
Yeah.
incredible goalie. I could go on and on. Grace Bowlby, incredible defenseman. Nat Bookbinder, Britta Curl. I'll
My
stop
goodness.
there, but I'm probably missing so many, but there's
Are
so
I,
many good players. I'm so lucky to have played with so many good players.
are any of those people you just mentioned in the PHF now?
Keitra Lonergan is. Yeah, she plays on Connecticut. But a
Sweet.
lot of them are still in school,
Yeah.
except for Keller. She's in the PWHPA.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. How about best coach you ever had?
Mark Johnson. I
He's
love
the
Mark. He's a legend. He's also in my favorite movie ever, Miracle.
right. He's the Wisconsin coach, and he was on the 1980 Miracle team, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. He was a stud on that team.
Queen of hockey for a day. What rule change would you make?
Hitting.
You want to see body checking?
Absolutely. I think not only because it would be more entertaining, I think so many people would just pure entertainment value, seeing, women hit each other on the ice. Like that's great. And then also, more importantly, I think it would make women's hockey so much better because, I played boys hockey growing up and I was hitting from the time I was like, I don't know, like 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes hockey players better because you have to have, a greater reaction time. You have to have, anticipation, vision, just hitting is so much more important than just, hitting on the surface level. Like the way that it kind of improves the game and like
Yeah.
awareness is huge. So I think it would make women's hockey better.
Your favorite hockey season ever?
Oh, that's easy. Wisconsin 2020, 2021, when we won the national championship. That was such a special season. Oh my gosh.
We're
Makes me
gonna get
giddy just thinking about it.
we're gonna get back to that in a few minutes here.
Okay.
Last one. 3 dinner guests, dead or alive. Who you got?
Is this just athletes or anyone?
Anyone, dead or
Okay.
alive.
Brad Pitt, Justin Bieber, Rihanna.
Wow, that's quite a combination. It's a little double
Yeah.
date there, right?
Yeah. Me and Brad Pitt and then Justin Bieber, Rihanna.
All right. Thank you so much for playing wrist shots.
Yeah, thanks for
You were
shooting me.
great. Okay. Let's go back to the PHF. You've been in there for a couple of weeks here. 4 games, you have a goal, you have an assist. Your team has gone 3-1. You're 4 points behind my Boston Pride in the PHF standings. And
Okay.
what are your early observations about what the play is like in the PHF compared to the NCAA?
That's a great question. And, my first game was against Connecticut. And, right away, I was like, wow, this is so much different than college hockey. And I say that because the game is a lot more back and forth, back and forth. And also, like in college, you practice 4 times a week. I think most PHF teams are 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And in the college practices, the coaches are so um they're so strong on, systems. Not to say that PHF teams aren't, but like if you watch like a Wisconsin or an Ohio, like defensively, if you make a mistake, you will be burned by your coach. And in practice, like I don't know, it just seems like the offensive play in the PHF is a lot more almost wild than NCAA. Like there's more 2-on-1s. Like there's just I don't know. Everyone wants to score. That probably doesn't make sense,
In
but
the PHF, they want to score, you think?
I mean everyone wants to score, but it feels like players in the PHF are more willing to kind of leave a system
Mm-hmm.
assignment in order to get a break. Whereas in college, like your coach will like nail you to the bench, or at least at
Right.
Wisconsin, if you kind of, aren't so um responsible. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the PHF, the kids are more mature,
Exactly.
and probably the coaches believe more in just freedom. Like go out there and
Yes.
play the game as opposed
Yes.
to.
Yeah, you're not like a 18-year-old. Like my last year at Wisconsin, I was 22 and freshmen were like 17, 18. So it's also been interesting to see just how, the women on my team carry themselves. Like I think the average age is probably like 26, 27. So it's cool just to play with such mature people and the freedom, like you said, that we have on the ice, off the ice. It's been fun. I love it.
Is it rougher than college?
Is it rougher than college? Like you said, I played 4 games and like, I've played 4 games, but I really haven't played 4 games. Like I haven't played that much. So my sample size is small.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to say it's rougher just because the girls are stronger. Like they're women. They've been training for so many years more than a college player. So, yeah, I think it's rough. I guess Buffalo, there were girls flying all over the ice, like being hit and all that stuff. It'll be interesting to play Montreal this weekend because I've been hearing they've got a really good rivalry. So, kind of reminds me of like, Wisconsin versus Ohio or Wisconsin versus Minnesota. Those are
Yeah.
big rivalry games, so things get chippy and dicey and rough out there, which I love.
Cool. Well, I wanted to just mention that everyone should check out the Premier Hockey Federation, the PHF. Check out your TV listings, but many of the games are available on ESPN Plus. And for the Boston Pride, we have a number of games on our local sports station, Nesson. So check that out. The other thing I was going to ask you about, you mentioned before a reference that you hadn't really played a game since last
Mm,
spring.
yeah.
Um, how are you feeling out there? And then what do you need to do, or what are you working on now to get yourself in top form?
Yeah, so it's been a grind. Like it has been feels like I've been run over by a bus every single day for the past I mean, it's better this week, but like the past 2 weeks, like basically I spent all summer trying to lose my hockey muscle, like long walks, blah blah blah. My mindset was, oh, I'm done with hockey, like, time to, change my body, see what I could look like without hockey muscles. And then all of a sudden sign this contract and now I have to join a team and all these girls are mid-season shape, so fast, so strong. So I kind of just like jumped on the ice with them, and then all of a sudden I went from like 8 months of no hockey to playing hockey with these incredible players. So I was dying, like you could imagine how much I was dying. But I've been like working out a lot, doing like extra skill sessions with, um, a guy I've been working with since I was young. So it's taken like I would say 3 weeks. I'm feeling a lot better now, but
Yeah.
realistically, I think it'll take me until playoffs to, be fully back in shape and also like my hands, my shot, mentally too. It takes a while. So
Yeah.
it's been a grind, not gonna lie.
No,
It's
that's
been
cool.
rough.
But luckily, since you're in your hometown there, you mentioned your trainer, you have access to kind of
Yeah.
the support that you had when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. Like in high school, I would work with, I have a great skills coach here in Toronto. His name's Dufan Kralik, and now I'm able to work with him on a regular basis again. So I think that'll help me tremendously.
Sweet. And then do you do stuff like do you have a well, no, I won't even ask that. Do
Ask
you
it.
Oh, I was gonna say are you like flinging pucks against your dad's garage?
No, I'm not.
Are you living over there? That's what I was gonna ask you, but that's not appropriate.
Oh, well, no, I do live in kind of the childhood house I grew up with. So I live with my dad and my brother right now.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's
But
fun, but
I guess I was just
yeah.
getting at like are you doing stuff like you get home and you just have the stick and the tennis ball or uh
No, no,
you don't do that
no.
anymore?
I
Okay.
probably should, but I probably should, but I've honestly never done that.
Oh, I was gonna ask you for the little girls out there, what's the best object to like practice on the carpet?
Hmm. Maybe I know they've got like those outdoor road hockey balls that don't create a lot of friction on the carpet. So,
The really
you
light
know,
ones or the ones that are heavier?
they're like heavy, they look like lacrosse balls, but they're not lacrosse balls. They're like a hard plastic.
And they weigh like the same amount
So,
as a puck, kind of, right?
um,
For them
I'm
thinking of
sure
the same
they,
one.
oh, I know what you're talking about. And you see kids like in the hallways before games, like stick handling those.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
really
you can
loud.
Yeah, they're really loud, and like if you were to shoot one against your wall in your house, it would probably leave a mark. But to all the little girls out there, go for it.
All right. So you can't develop your hands too much, right? Like
No,
you got to
no.
keep working on that forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, okay, good. I'm going to keep it moving here. Thank you for that
Okay,
part. Let's go back to college a little bit. I mentioned
okay.
during your intro that you scored the NCAA championship winning goal in overtime. Now, side note, we had Nick Carpenito, who's the associate head coach at Northeastern, on the show here not too long after that final game
Oh,
where you scored that goal. And he was talking about how heartbreaking that game was. Naturally, so I want to get your side of things. Here's what happened in case anyone hasn't seen it. Overtime against the Huskies. You're behind the net. Erin
hmm
Frankel, who I think she's another Kazmaier winner, right? The
hmm.
goalie.
Yeah,
Um,
she won it that year that we won the championship.
yeah, I saw her play and the stretch passes from the goalie, and not to mention the way she can move around in the thing. Anyway, so what happened was you were behind the net and you kind of flicked it forward, and it ended up bouncing off the knee of one of the Husky defenders into the goal. Natty for you, right?
Right.
Afterwards, there was a little bit of discussion about whether or not you intended to ricochet it or whether you're just trying to set somebody up in front. What happened?
Yeah, I'm honestly so sick of people like talking about this. Like it's just exhausting.
We don't
But
have to talk about it.
no, we can talk about it. Like I'm behind the net, and I guess my question to whoever questions me is why would I shoot it at a player? Like it's overtime in an NCAA game. Why would I shoot it at a defender? So, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. And like one of my great friends, I was talking to her, after, and she was like, if you know Daryl, she doesn't, she said, she said Daryl doesn't care enough to make up a lie and spread it. Like, I love hockey, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm not like thirsty for attention to try to make something up like that. And,
So you're
my
saying
team,
you were trying to send it back out to one of your defenders or something,
no,
right?
I was trying to bank it off the player
Oh,
into the
you
wide
were.
open
Okay.
net. Yes, because
Okay.
the goalie was on the wrong post. I was off the left post. She
Yeah.
was on the right post. So the entire open net was so close to me, and the defender kind of moved, and it was a perfect like bank shot into the net. So,
All
and that
skill.
yeah, all skill, baby. Yeah, but I'm just so sick of people being like, "Oh, did you mean to do it? Did you not?" It's kind of like I did, but can we not just be happy that, Wisconsin won and, Northeastern's, trying to go back 2 years and she didn't mean to do it. Who cares? Like we won the championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of I mean, I don't want to say it overshadowed. If anything, it might have
Yeah,
like drawn more attention to it because it was such a unusual and exciting ending.
right, right. That's true.
But
That's
then
true.
with the
I guess my frustration is just, instead of going, oh, what was it like to win the national championship? People go, did you really mean to do it? And I'm just like, yes, yes. Can we just move on?
I'm sorry, we asked. All right, let's move on. I'll move on after this. Now, was there some like little chirping about this with the kids on Northeastern?
Not really. Before our NCAA game 2 years ago, one of the reporters asked me and Aaron Frankel before the game. So he was just trying to stir up,
Shit.
yeah, stir up shit. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
All right.
but I don't think it's really a big deal.
All right. I apologize for asking about all that, but I
No,
thought it was an
no,
obvious thing to bring up. We haven't met before.
no. I mean, of course. Totally get it.
And congrats on the Natty. That's awesome. Cornell hasn't won one yet. They made the finals once, but they haven't gotten over the top yet. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's a little
I thought
sad.
they'd won earlier. That's too bad.
Their big chance was a couple of years ago when they were the number one ranked team in the country when they shut it down for the pandemic in 2020.
What?
Remember 2020?
Wait. Do you mean the men's team or the women's team?
Actually, the men's team and the women's team were both ranked number one when the pandemic shut things down in March of 2020.
Really?
Yeah, it was sad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although,
that was heartbreaking because we had
with
a game the next day and then it was shut down.
yeah, well, Cornell also lost in the uh ECAC tournament to Princeton.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
So
Yeah,
they
I
maybe
remember
they wouldn't
hearing
have been
about
number
that.
one by the time they went there, but I think they were loading up the buses, getting ready to go to the tournament when everything got shut
Okay.
down that week, right? Because
Yeah,
they shut down the high school tournament and everything else like that. So
yeah. I think the
uh,
world shut down. Like all the sports shut down. People were sent home. It was kind of brutal.
yeah.
Hmm.
Now being from Ontario, we're gonna go back. I want to just do a time check real quick. Are you all right?
I have nothing on today, so
All right. What? Growing up in Ontario, what made you choose to play U.S. college hockey?
really it's an easy decision because the chance to get a Division 1 scholarship in American universities are so incredible and just NCAA, the league is so incredible that nothing in Canada compares to it. So it was an easy decision. And when I was younger, I wanted to go to Harvard, I wanted to go to an Ivy League, and then there's so many schools that I'd never even heard of being from Toronto, like Wisconsin and, Boston College. I didn't even know what that was. Um, so yeah, the NCAA was definitely always the goal. And, my parents were really adamant on, going that route. It was never really a discussion at all not to go to the NCAA.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like for women, that's the clear choice for,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
yeah.
It's the clear choice.
Whereas with the men, the Canadian kids might go to the junior leagues in Canada or what have you,
Right,
or even
like
the
the
USHL.
OHL. Yeah.
Yeah. And then tell us about the circumstances of you transferring. You
Right. Yeah.
you had what was it, 2 years at BC and then 3 at Wisconsin, or other way around?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I transferred after my sophomore season at Boston College. And I transferred just because I kind of fell out of love with hockey. My sophomore year at BC it was just like terrible. I didn't have fun. I felt like the program, wasn't what I thought it would be, and I didn't feel like I would ever have a chance to really compete for a national championship
Mm-hmm.
at Boston College. So, once Katrin Lonergan transferred, I kind of realized that, you know, happiness is the most important thing, and
Yeah.
with all those other factors, it was best for me to enter the portal. And, I ended up at Wisconsin and I'm so, so grateful for my time there. It was, the best years of my hockey life. And we won a
So
national
far.
championship so far, so far. Yeah,
Well,
but it was incredible.
anytime I see you with that Badgers sweater on, you seem to have a big smile on your face. So backs
Yes,
that up. Now,
yes.
I'm trying to orient my timing there. So in terms of the transfer portal, was that when they changed the rules, or did COVID happen after that?
What do you mean change the rules?
Well, I think they kind of made it easier for kids to change schools in the wake of like the
Oh,
COVID. You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay. So I think the rule change was interconference transferring. You didn't have to sit out a year. So prior to COVID, if you transferred from like Boston College to Boston University or Northeastern, you'd have to sit out a year before playing. But because I wanted to leave the Hockey East Conference,
Yeah.
I could play immediately at Wisconsin.
And then one other logistical thing, when you go through
Hmm.
that process, um, did you get everything all arranged with Wisconsin, then go into the portal, or did you decide you wanted to leave, go into the portal, and then you shopped around for a school?
So it's illegal to talk to teams before you're in the portal. So I entered the portal and then I talked to a few other teams. Wisconsin made me wait a little bit, which made me nervous. But then because I always wanted to go there. So
Yeah.
once they finally reached out, I visited and it was all good. But yeah, you're definitely not allowed to talk to teams
Okay.
before you're in the portal. So I did not do that.
You did not do that.
I did not. Shut up.
Nobody did anything like
Yeah,
that. That's
no.
great. So the system worked the way it was supposed to. But then at that point, you weren't really. You mentioned Harvard and so forth.
Uh-huh.
The Ivy League, you're gonna have to pay, and you
Yeah,
probably don't have as good of a chance at a national championship as you do as a couple of these other places.
right.
Was there a factor with, because I'm leading, like, why didn't you just go to the Cornell Big Red? You could have played at line and rink the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think from the first moment I realized I could go to the NCAA, I was like, I'm gonna go to Harvard, I'm gonna go to Princeton. Like, that's a dream scenario. You see it in the movies, Harvard, Princeton, blah, blah, blah. But then, real life hits and my family would have had to pay a lot of money and um
Yes, they would have.
yeah, and then also um yeah, like you mentioned, the programs. I mean, Princeton, they've got an awesome program right now. I think Cornell too. I think Harvard's doing well as well. But like they don't really compare to like the Wisconsins, the Minnesotas, and more recently Ohio State. So I felt
Yeah.
like I got the best of the academic world and the hockey program world at Boston College. So and then also Boston's a beautiful city, and being from Toronto, like I appreciate the downtown, good restaurants, sports,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So Boston College, for those reasons, was why I chose that school and the free scholarship, of course.
Right. Right. Now how was it in terms of living in Boston? Like, do you like hate the Bruins or what?
Oh my God. I hate the Bruins so much. Like the Bruins make me so angry for no reason. Like why do I not like the Bruins? I just hate the Bruins so much. I guess they've knocked out Toronto like so many times, but oh my gosh. Marchand, Chara for a while. They just made like younger me so angry.
You're ready to throttle them?
Yeah, I was ready to drop the gloves with Chara when I was like 15. Yeah, like,
Well, that one loss about like 5 or 6 years ago, right?
oh yeah, when they were up 3-0 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We loved it. You hated it.
Yeah, like the
But yeah.
Bruins have always been so much better than the Leafs. Or I just
Well,
feel like they're mean. Like the players are mean. Which doesn't make sense, but that's just how I felt.
well, your dad, I'm sure he remembers 1967. He could tell you all about it.
Okay. Yeah,
You,
I don't
do you know
even
what happened in
know. I have
1967?
no idea.
That's when the Leafs won the cup.
Oh, for the last time?
That's the most recent one. Yes, it's
Perfect.
coming up on actually, I guess it's over 50 years, right? My math is right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just
Anyway,
go with yeah.
all right. So, but you know what I actually love? I follow a lot of accounts on Twitter that are
Okay.
related to people who love the Maple Leafs, and
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun because they're always like so psyched, and then they get to the end of the year and it doesn't work out, and then they're so sad.
Yeah.
If they ever win
Yeah,
the
it's
cup, that won't be there anymore. You know?
right. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. Like you get so excited and then you're just brought down and it's brutal. But
Yeah.
this year's our year.
All right, we'll see. They're decent.
Yeah, they're not bad. The Bruins are so good this year.
Yeah, they're sick. Yeah. Yeah, we're happy around here. I'm trying to play that down a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I think
Pride
that's
are great. You know, they're in
yeah,
first
the Pride
place.
are yeah, they're really good. I can't wait to play them.
Yeah. All right, let's go back before college. Now,
Okay.
according to Elite Prospects, you spend time on your Elite Prospects page?
I don't spend a lot of time, but I definitely have checked it out before.
Okay. Well, according to that, when you were around 14, you started playing in the Provincial Women's Hockey League, and that's basically a junior women's ice hockey league in Ontario.
Yes,
It
correct.
was founded in 2004, and it's considered to be the highest level of junior women's ice hockey in Ontario.
Yes.
Now, were there other kids your age in that league at the time?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think I played, I'm trying to remember if I played in that league for 2 years or 3 years, but I remember my first year, I was definitely one of the younger kids and um yeah, I'm sure there were other kids my age. Like there's a bunch of teams. I think there's like 20 teams, so there were definitely um other kids my age.
So I imagine that indicates that you're pretty good, like in the early years, like you're very good at home and POE and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say I was good.
And
Um,
I mean, what are the so we're here in the States, but what are the
right.
options for Canadian girls that get to be about 13 or 14 and they're decent?
Um, so so I played boys hockey till I was in grade 7, and then I switched to girls hockey, which was I for I get mixed up with like the Atom, Pee Wee, Bantam, all that stuff, but
You can say
maybe it was
U10, U12, and things like that if you want.
okay. I think it might have been.
Am I gonna have to
I
go
don't.
to your elite prospects page here?
Yeah, I've got a bad memory. Like I know I played for the Dolphins, and then midget I went to the Arrows, and then junior I was Arrows, Chiefs, Chiefs. So 3 years junior, I guess. Um, but
All
the
right,
Dolphins, yeah. Do you have it in front of you?
I'm gonna open it up here, and
Okay.
I'm gonna share it, and then we'll check it out. Hold, please. I really appreciate your. This is nice interview here. I'm glad we're getting to do
Oh,
this.
good, good. Yeah, me too. Having fun.
All right, here you are. First of all, you need. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
First of all, you need to talk to the club about getting your photo up here.
Okay.
Although it looks like I could submit a photo.
Oh.
Then we go down here. Is this all right? 99 birth year.
Mm-hmm.
You were on
Youth team, Humber Valley. Yeah, that's right. MHA. I don't know what MHA means. Is that like midget? I don't think I played midget for Humber Valley.
Does
Oh,
it say
minor? Maybe that's
minor?
minor
Yes.
Adam. Yeah,
That's what you guys say up there, minor instead of youth, right?
minor Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got, all right. So here you are. You were on the Toronto Arrows for, well, the first season was just one game, it looks like, according to this thing.
Oh, yeah. I might have played up like one game in the playoffs. I think I remember.
And then the Arrows the next year, 37 games, 48 points as a 15-year-old.
Okay.
And then Mississauga.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same league? Yeah, the same league, the
Yep. Same
PWHL.
league.
65 points in 34 games. That was pretty sick year. And 24 penalty minutes. Were you just like blowing kids up at
Oh
that point?
yeah. I was just, trying to influence other girls to hit.
Oh, and then so the 2 years with Mississauga Chiefs, you're the captain the second, and then 2 years on Canada U18
Mm-hmm.
at the WJC 18. It's not like really the same as the boys junior, but it's like U18 women, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the World Juniors for the boys is under 22 or under 21, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like they have like 03s and 04s in there, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll probably cut that out. But all right, so there you go. That's what your page looks like. What else is in here?
Ah,
Um,
premium content.
yeah, you have to get the monthly deal if you want to
Hmm.
see your game by game breakdown. But we can get that on premierhockeyfederation.com.
Okay.
And then here's your total. So in the PWHL, 165 points in 103 games.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there you go. Is that all we?
Nice.
And look at this. 2 silver medals in the
Hmm.
U18 women's junior.
Yeah,
Who did you lose to?
the United States of America.
Okay.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking the first year. It was sold out in St. Catharines, which is like 2 hours from my house.
Uh-huh.
And then we lost in overtime. That
Was
was so
everyone
sad.
there? Like it was your like
Eh,
the whole time there?
yeah, pretty much. And it was just so cool because the entire rink was sold out. So it might have been like 4 or 5,000 seats. And it was like a whole bowl. Like, yeah, so it was really
You mean the
cool.
seats went all the way around?
Yeah, yeah, like the full bowl. Yeah.
Kind of like
Went
well,
all.
like the BC arena, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I forget what's that place called?
Conte Forum.
That's right. That's right. So I don't know how much you look at Rink Stories, but it all started off because I'm a hockey dad, and while my kid was in there playing, I would go around and like take pictures of the plaques and pictures of the thing and do a write up about it.
Oh,
So I've written up like well
cool.
over 100 rinks. But that Conte Forum has tons of great things to look at, and it's
Yeah,
old school.
it's a beautiful rink. It really is. And then it's got those like pillars on the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks
What,
totally old school.
what's your what like you've been to so many rinks. What are your like top three ranks?
Well, I mean, sentimentally speaking, I like Lina and at Cornell.
Okay, right.
There's this place in Montreal. I'd have to look it up. I always forget the name of it.
Uh
It's in French, and it's like this newfangled hockey facility, and it's got like 4 rinks, and 2 of them are Olympic size, and then in the middle they have like a restaurant and a
oh,
bar, and
cool.
that was a good one. I'm trying to think what some of the other good ones are.
What
It'll
about NCAA?
Well, Cornell. I like BC.
Yeah.
Um, there's something kind of charming about Providence College.
Yeah, I really like their rink. Their rink was always one of my favorites to play at.
Yeah, and that woman we mentioned earlier who wears 19 on your team, she was
Oh
there, right?
yeah, 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 I saw that.
What's her name?
Brooke Boyquist.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a pretty cool place too. Um, more of them will come to me, but
I
yeah.
like New Hampshire. They've got a really big rink. It's like Olympic size.
Oh, at UNH.
Yeah, UNH.
Okay.
And then I
Um,
really like BU's rink, like their women's rink. I know it's kind of old, but it's charming.
yeah, that was the oh, you're testing my knowledge now, but they don't play in Aganis like where the yeah.
No, no, they don't play where the men play.
And same with
Same with Ohio.
Northeastern. Oh, Northeastern. That rink. What is that place called? Um,
Um,
that is like the
Nate.
oldest continuously operating rink
Oh,
in the
I've heard
country.
about that. Is there a rink called like Nathan Arena or something? I could be
Math
totally wrong.
Matthews Arena.
Matthews.
Is that it? Is that
Yeah,
where the women
okay.
play?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Matthews.
world's oldest multi-purpose athletic building still in
Cool.
use and the oldest arena used for hockey. That is a really cool place.
I really like playing there.
That's where I saw Aaron Frankel do that stretch
Oh,
pass that blew my mind.
yeah, I haven't seen that.
You haven't been in the Northeastern rink?
No, 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 I've been in the Northeastern rink, but I haven't seen the stretch pass you keep talking about.
Oh, yeah,
But
it was kind of a well, actually it was against Cornell
oh,
and
nice.
I went there and Northeastern smoked Cornell. It was a long day for
Oh,
me. Yeah.
yeah,
But
Northeastern's been really good these past few years.
I know they haven't been able to get over the hump though,
No.
thanks to people like you.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What were you gonna say?
Um,
I
oh, I
said
was gonna say they've never won, right?
no.
No. Actually, I don't know if any Hockey East team has ever won. Is that true?
I don't think so. All right, here we go. You like Googling just like I do, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's
I
look it up
love.
real quick. NCAA women's
Hmm.
uh
Maybe Harvard won, actually. Wait, Harvard's not in Hockey East.
they're ECAC, right? Or
Yeah,
is it Ivy League in the
I think it's ECAC. It's like a combo of the Ivy Leagues and then like Colgate
yeah. Yeah, that's what yeah. The Ivy Leagues because the ECAC is basically a Boston thing, right?
or
And then
Hockey East. Hockey
Hockey
East
East
is,
rather
yeah.
is no Hockey East is yeah, it's the Boston thing and then
Hmm.
ECAC is older and has the Ivies in them.
Yeah.
So Harvard's a little bit of an exception there. But anyway, so here's your can you see this?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Oh,
so Ohio State won last year, Wisconsin the year before
hmm.
that. Then there was nothing the year before that. But oh, Clarkson,
Yeah,
they're
Clarkson had a really good run.
they're ECAC, right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so you got them. They've won it 3 times. But then other than that, you're like Minnesota a bunch of times, Wisconsin a bunch
Mm.
of times,
Oh,
Minnesota Duluth a bunch of times.
wow. So
Yeah.
Hockey East have never won. I'm sure
Uh
that'll change.
yeah. And I'm trying to say, well, it looks like if you look at the runners up, Northeastern, BC, Harvard,
Oh,
BU,
oh man.
Harvard.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for those Harvard girls 3 years in a row losing. That's so sad.
Yeah, and one of them was in two overtimes in 2003.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. You're building up a cool history there, but we do need to get some other teams winning this thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I can't believe I didn't realize this until I started doing this podcast. How new NCAA women's hockey is. It's insane to me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
guess
like
just
it's
women's hockey as a whole is so new.
yeah, yeah. So you're joining at a really good time.
Yeah, I snuck in at the best time possible.
You did. If you were,
Yeah.
I was thinking about somebody like keep mentioning Kaylee Fratkin, who's from the '92
Hmm.
birth year.
92. Okay.
Yeah, and she was at BU, and
Okay.
she was on one of those teams that I think she was on the one where Wisconsin beat him in 2011,
Uh,
and that she described how that sucked and everything. Um, But she's not really in a position to do what you're doing right now in terms of getting in the ground floor, making some decent money. But nonetheless, I mean, she's a wonderful role model, and she's going to go down as one of the all-time greats in your league.
Right.
But she was describing us. I was asking you about the path for kids who are good. So she's from Burnaby, British Columbia,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and she played boys midgets
Okay.
all the way till college.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And when we had her on for wrist shots, what rule do you want to change? She was like, you got to have body checking.
Nice.
And she said that there was nothing better than when she was playing midgets, like she's 16, 17, and like
Yeah.
blowing a dude up at like she's about your size, I think.
Wow.
And she said the crowd would just go absolutely bananas if she
That's
got a hit in like
hilarious.
that in the middle of the ice or something.
That's so impressive to be 16, 17, blowing up a boy. That's incredible. Because my
Yeah.
last year of boys hockey, I mean, I was getting blown up. Like I wasn't doing the blowing up. I was getting blown up. Like I remember one time I got hit so hard, I did like a scorpion.
How old were you at that point?
Okay, grade 7, I think.
Okay, so that's
So
roughly yeah,
I don't
Pee
know.
Wee Bantam type of age. But they had body checking in the boys game at that point, right?
Yeah, I think it's changed now. Like they keep moving the year of checking to older and older just because of all the health concerns, I guess.
Yeah, the concussions and so forth. And there's an
Yeah,
argument either way.
yeah. I mean, like there's so many concussions in girls hockey and you don't even have body checking, so you should
Yeah.
just let kids go to town.
So did you do you consider yourself a physically aggressive player that way? Like would you be blowing kids up if they allowed it?
Um, that's a great question. I think I would. And I think I would change my game because from, when I played boys hockey, I was really aggressive because it's kind of like hit or be hit. So your mindset has to be like on the offensive in terms of like, I'm going to hit everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then once I joined girls hockey, I think I've become less aggressive. And my dad is always like, oh, be like, get more into it, like be more physical. So I think if
Yeah.
there was hitting in girls hockey, I would like literally change my game and be more physical. I mean, yeah, I probably should do that anyways, but
It could hurt your scoring though, right? Like if you're not out there or if someone comes back at you,
uh oh
right?
my God. But that's the thing. Like when I played like when I was in grade 11, grade 12, junior hockey, I would get punched in the face every single game. So like the whole if there's hitting, like it'll be more like chippy after the whistle, maybe, but like the chippiness after the whistles in my junior high school career was insane. And the refs were like, I don't know, like high school kids or like young people who really had no idea what was going on. So like sometimes after games in high school, I would literally be driven home by my dad and I would just be like half asleep because my head would be pounding so much. I was like punch drunk sometimes. Like it
Yeah.
was bad.
So actually having hitting during the play can reduce the amount of nonsense after the whistle.
Probably because instead of doing all this stupid bullshit after the whistle, girls will just be like, "Oh, you know, next play, I'm gonna hit her." Like the way that guys think, like, "Oh, he just blew me up," like, "Oh, I've got his number." Whereas with girls, it's like after the whistle, like, boom, boom, popping you in the face. It's like, why? Like, stop. Yeah, it's so annoying.
But do things happen though? Like if players get mad out there, like say in the NCAA, or
Uh-huh.
will they just like go for the body check anyway and just take the 2 minutes, like get their money's
No,
worth?
no. I wouldn't say so. Like, there's no open ice hits. If there are, it's an accident or
Yeah.
it's once in a blue moon.
Okay. But I was just
Yeah,
wondering
but
what your recourse is if you start to get pissed off at somebody.
if you
What
get
what can you
pissed off
do?
at someone in women's hockey, it's behind the play or after the whistle. It's
Well, when
just
when
like,
no one's looking and nothing's gonna. Yeah.
yeah, or after the whistle, they just like will punch you in the face and then go to the box.
Now, did they get on you when you were a freshman and you're out there like winning the Patty Kazmaier Award? Were people looking out for you, or looking to get you, or were teammates looking to
Oh,
protect you? Like, how did they treat you out there when you're like a kid and you're doing so good?
yeah, there was none of that. I mean, yeah, no one was really trying to hurt me because of my performance. I mean, every once in a while, girls would chirp me, um, and just be like, you're not as good as you think you are." Yeah, just like stupid stuff like that. And I'd be like, okay, cool,
You're
thank
not
you.
as good as your 60 points says you are.
Yeah, yeah. Girls would literally say that, and I'd be like, okay, sick. Appreciate that. Like that really hurts my feelings. Like, nice one. Yeah.
But there's less chirping with the women than the men?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just watching like NHL games, like they're always chirping. And like after every whistle, there's something where girls hockey, I'd say, like men's like NHL, let's say it's after every other whistle, there's like a little scrum. Girls hockey, it's probably like once a period, there's a scrum.
Yeah.
Does,
Well,
does that make
I think the women are, I don't know. I hate to characterize men and women like this, but the women are a little more genteel. Like you've got people like yourself,
Yeah,
you have your
I
degree, you're
agree.
getting ready to go to grad school, you're like viewing yourself as a role model, and then you get like these dudes that are like, some of them are boneheads, let's face it.
And I feel like guys are just like men, they're just so jacked up on testosterone and they're out there playing hockey and they're just like not like wild animals, but they're just like so intense and aggressive. And then someone touches you after the whistle and they're like, blah, 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 blah. Where girls are just like, do, do, do. Like sometimes in girls hockey, like a opposing player will like hit your goalie and you'll see girls just like skate away. Like the girls don't have that like protective like innate quality that guys do. Like I remember when I played boys hockey, like the coach would always say, "You never let the other team touch your goalie, and if they do, like you put them into the ground." So boys hockey, like I kind of had that, like, oh my gosh, no one can touch my goalie. And then I get to girls hockey, and the other team would just like do whatever they wanted to our goalie, smack the goalie, and the defenseman who was in front of our goalie would just be like, do 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 do, skate to the bench, do 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 do, like doesn't care at all. And I'd be like, no, like that's not how it's supposed to be. So yeah, I guess that's just girls versus guys.
All right. What about like in the PHF? Like if you did a little snow shower on the other goalie, like are you gonna pay for that?
I mean, I don't think so because that's funny you say that because in our games last weekend, I forget if it was my goalie or the other goalie, but the goalie got absolutely snow showered, and the player who did that just skated back to the bench, and no one gave her a hard time.
Hmm. It
Yeah.
might be part of your responsibility to change the tone
Okay.
with the
I
T6,
I agree. I agree. I need to get dirty. I need to get physical and just, I guess, become really protective of my goalie and my girls.
Sounds like it'll come naturally to you. No,
Yeah,
you're not going
we'll
to be
see.
dirty. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's interesting perspective though about like how the men and women play the game.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else that believe it or not, I think I exhausted my notes.
Okay.
But is there anything else that you needed to bring up to say on behalf of the Toronto Six or the PHF or the Badgers
Oh,
that
oh
you know
gosh.
want to get out there?
Um, I mean, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
I don't have like a specific message for Wisconsin or the Toronto Six that I feel like I should share and like speak on behalf of them.
I
But
think you've done a very nice job of representing all of the above.
okay, that makes me feel good. Thank you. And thank you to you for talking to me for an hour. I've had
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of fun.
no sweat. Yeah, yeah. Well, it'll take
Yeah.
us a little while to edit this and everything like that, but then you're not
Okay.
you're not a huge social media person though, right?
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Okay.
Like I don't have I mean I have a Twitter profile, but I don't think I've used it in a year.
Yeah.
And then I have Instagram, which I go on,
Yeah.
but I'm not like trying to like create content
No,
like
I don't
some
recommend
other
it.
player. Yeah, it's like some people do that. Like some female hockey players do that and
You see some
maybe good.
cool like team stuff. Like I think a lot of the PHF teams will have
Oh,
one player who will curate it. So like the Pride the other day had a pretty funny thing where
mm,
two or three of them are standing there, they're answering these questions like, who's the girl who would be most likely to do whatever, and it's pretty funny.
yeah, yeah.
That was
The
on the
Toronto
gram.
Six. Yeah, the Toronto Six did that. We did like who's the best dancer on the team? Like you see NHL teams do that, like kind of use it's almost
Yeah,
like TikTok and like Instagram
yeah,
viral
yeah,
trends.
yeah.
So that's cool. I
That
think the
stuff's fun.
media, yeah, the media staff members on each PHS team is great.
Oh yeah, they
And
do a
that's
good job. That kid
yeah, they do a great
Justin,
job.
and then what's her name that I'm in touch with over there?
Tori?
Corey,
Tori?
yeah.
Tori. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
She's been
yeah.
great.
So I've
Yeah.
from time to time dropped into the press conferences and stuff like that. Anyway,
Hmm.
so yeah, hopefully the team will get the word out there that we have this profile of you out there, and we'll be looking for you out there in the PHF. So let me do the official sign off, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
Ms. Watts. No, Daryl Watts. Thank you so much for coming on the Rink Stories podcast. You've been a marvelous guest.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and I've really enjoyed our conversation. I've had a lot of fun.
Thank you. And we'll be looking for the Toronto Six and the rest of the PHF on ESPN Plus and wherever you find your women's hockey. I want to
Go
keep talking to you,
Leafs.
but I don't have anything else to ask you about. You're excellent. I love talking to you. Maybe we'll do
Thank
it
you.
again sometime after you guys hoist the Isabel Cup.
Yeah, I would love that. Or after the Leafs beat the Bruins.
Could you imagine both of those things happened?
More more realistically, though, the Leafs will be knocked out first round. So
Yeah, but I think the Six have a chance though.
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I guess we're in second place. I haven't even looked at the standings, but I
you're
guess
second place, 4 points out
okay.
with about a
Yeah,
month to go.
it seems like Boston is the team everyone's chasing. That's kind of my impression so far.
Yeah, they're
So,
loaded. I mean, they've won the last
yeah,
two, right?
right. Yeah, and they've got Gable, Jaguar, um, Fratkin, and then
Dempsey,
their goalie, Dempsey. That sounds familiar.
Jillian Dempsey, still on there, right?
Okay, I'm not sure.
She's one of the
But
all-time leading scorers in
oh,
league history. Yeah.
cool.
So, yeah, learn
Yeah,
her number before you see her next week or whatever.
yeah. I won't let her touch my goalie.
Yeah, that's right. No, look at no, look for 13 though for sure. And 21, Putinha, who was on here. She's a fantastic scorer. She
Oh,
went to Providence.
yeah. I definitely played against her while she was at Providence and I was at BC. I
Oh,
remember her.
you guys might be the same birth year,
No, I
possibly.
think I think she's like a year, 2 years older than me.
Okay, but she's a
But
very talented scorer.
she's really good. I remember her
Yeah,
shot was wicked.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
All right, Daryl, I'll let you go. You have a
Okay.
great weekend, and we'll
Yeah,
look for you
you
out there.
too.
All right, bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.
All right, bye
Bye.
bye.